Bill D'Agostino. He is a senior resident research analyst at MRC Newsbusters, and we're going to talk about the legacy media coming up, covering up Democrat scandals with a pillow. Good morning, Bill. How you doing?
Doing great. Good to be on. Let's go, fun.
Woo, it's been a morning already. So, it is true, all the Democrats on Facebook, all they can talk about is, the Epstein files. That appears to be the only thing they care about, other than the fact that Obama was in on the whole Russia scandal. They don't seem to care about that a whole lot. But when it comes right down to it, there are a lot of Democrat scandals that they just don't want to talk about, and they focus on, where's the list, Donnie? They want to talk about that instead. And I do have some sound bites I want to play too, but let's start with Russia. Let's talk about that with Obama.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it'd be nice if they would acknowledge it, but I think that when the Mueller report came out, their kind of piddling reaction to that, right? Desperately trying to find something in it, even though Robert Mueller himself said, basically, yeah, there's kind of nothing here. It sort of showed to all of us, I think, that there was never going to be any great "I told you so." Mm-hmm. And I mean, a lot of this stuff that DNI Gabbard is putting out right now, it's sort of confirming what I think most of us already knew at that point, that this was, completely manufactured. I think the degree of Obama's involvement is certainly kind of what's newer here, right? That's more of a revelation. But
well, somebody finally had the nuts to say it, and it was a woman.
Right.
So
right.
Let's go there.
And I mean, and not just any woman, but a woman who has been relentlessly hounded by the security state ever since she refused to get on board with this whole Assad regime change thing. Back when she was considering running for president as a Democrat, actually in 2020. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the Clinton campaign pushed out, or not some former Clinton campaign staffers started putting out all of these documents saying that Tulsi Gabbard is actually owned by Russia too. Right? Do you remember this during the 2020 election?
Absolutely.
And
I
they put her on a no-fly list. And so look, this is why she was such a good pick for this role, right? Because she has been relentlessly persecuted by these very people that she now has the keys to all of their absurd files and conspiracies and whatnot. She can look at all of that, right? She has the keys to every filing cabinet in the joint. And so it's kind of sweet comeuppance in a way to see her doing it.
And you know what? The media is coming at her, and Caroline Leavitt is she's just fantastic. She's like, Trump trusts his entire cabinet, so y'all can try to throw, bones under the bed and say that, this person is leaking or that person's. It's not happening that way. It's just not this time around.
Yeah. I mean, there was such an incentive to do it during the first Trump administration. Mm-hmm. You would be rewarded so handsomely. And unfortunately he wasn't a political creature at the time, right? He was from the business world. And so he was clearly not running the tightest ship as far as who he was letting in on some of these conversations, on some meetings. And he was letting in a number of untrustworthy people that were unfortunately eagerly leaking to the press and being rewarded for it. This time around, that's just not going on because he's learned his lesson, which is something that the media clearly have not learned.
Yeah. Well, and the media needs to understand that this man is doing more for America than any president since Reagan, in my opinion. It's just been amazing. But for some reason, Obama remains off limits. I don't give a crap if the guy's half black. It is what it is. If this guy was in on the Russian hoax, which was an absolute, unequivocal hoax funded by the Clinton campaign, the left refuses to talk about it. They will not put his name on it, but his name is all over it.
The reason they can't talk about it is because Letitia James took away their greatest line that they would have been using at this moment had she not done what she did, which would be going after a former president, Donald. You're going to go there,
oh, geez.
right? But They already did that themselves.
If there's a name on the Epstein files, we know damn well it's Clinton. All right, so
Right.
if we're gonna cast stones and do whatever, they've been coming after Trump before he even got elected. Everything they could think of to try to keep him in court, they did. They keep calling him the felon, and I'm like, I'm perfectly fine with that because the reason he's a felon is absolutely absurd. And when you look at the horrible damage that was done under the Obama administration and the Biden administration as far as our enemies go and the people who would hate us for free, the billions of dollars who went to help Hamas in their endeavors and the Houthis and quite frankly, even Hezbollah, I just look at all of the ways that they emboldened our absolute enemies, and I look at Trump shutting them down and making sure that he preemptively keeps us safe as well as our strongest allies. How in God's name are they talking about the Epstein files?
Well, it's all they've got, right? It's the only spot of weakness that they sense. And anything that they can do, that the Democrats, not even the media, but that the Democrats can do to keep the focus on the Trump administration, keeps their base's focus off of them and the fact that they're incapable of accomplishing anything. And so they want the conversation to permanently be about Trump, right? It's like whenever the conversation's about Trump, they're on offense, right? Mm-hmm. And so the second the ball gets in their court, in their half of the court, things become very uncomfortable because they have to answer for their inability to do anything. This is finally something that they can at least performatively act like they're doing something, right? They can start demanding investigations, and they think that this is something that will help them win the House in the upcoming midterms. Because if they run on this, if they say, hey, look, put us in, we'll do all of these Epstein investigations with the oversight power that the House has. They see that as a winning message to, at the very least, motivate their base in a way that they certainly were not motivated for barely awake Joe Biden and cackling Kamala Harris.
Let's jump ship here because of a lack of time. What in God's name was Hunter Biden doing? Talking about how to make crack and his profanity. He's been hanging out with Jasmine Crockett a little too long with his profanity-laced rant about racist immigration crush. I mean, if ever he needed to prove that he was nuts, I think we've hit an 11 out of 10.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know the guy. Thank God. I don't know his thought process, but
no one does. I don't even think he does.
I think that this is him thinking, okay, I will kind of dip my toe into the pool, as it were, of maybe, the Democrats are looking for somebody to run in 28. They don't know who it's going to be. It kind of looks like the field's empty. I know everybody's saying it can't be me, but hey, maybe it could be me. We'll see how this goes. I think that's what that was. I know that nobody who's actually tied to the Democratic Party wants that, obviously. Like, he does not have a snowball chance in hell, clearly.
Please,
but you got to imagine.
Please,
you got to imagine there's at least one Democratic strategist out there who is willing to take however much money he still has to whisper in his ear and say, "Yeah, you're what the party needs. Go ahead and run a campaign and make a bunch of money off of it." Right? Because there's both parties have these dirty strategists like that who just convince wealthy morons to run when they have no chance. Yeah. So I don't know how wealthy he is, but I suspect that that's what's going on right now. What I'd love to know is who this strategist is.
Well, he apparently can't afford to pay child support, so I don't know how much money he has. And if he does all of a sudden have money, his daughter, they don't claim, is going to end up, going to private school.
Right.
But they're talking about AOC. They're talking about the strangest people being their Democrat candidate coming up. I mean, I don't see anybody they have going up against J.D. Vance.
No, because who the base wants is so far from what the average American is capable of holding their nose and voting for, right? So even if you're a lifelong Democrat, but you're not a socialist, you're basically out in the cold in this upcoming presidential election, right? Because that's it. It's too far even for you, right? Even if you're a lifelong Democrat. Yeah. And so I think that a lot of those people stay home. It's certainly going to energize the base if somebody like AOC runs, but the base is not the majority of America. Far from it, right? That's not how you win a general. No. So yeah, I think that they're probably in big trouble.
Because I mean, like, if you ban TikTok, all the clocks will stop. So go ahead and vote for AOC, please put her up. I can't stand the nonstop drumbeat of the Russia thing. Now it's Epstein. It's like, I don't even know what is wrong with them, but the fact that they will not even touch anything that has a hypothetical prosecution of President Obama, they won't even touch it. And they are positive that it's Donald Trump's fault that Colbert got canceled and that he's coming for The View next. Y'all need to understand that Trump didn't fire him. The company did. And he didn't pressure them to do so either. They just fired him because he stunk. He was terrible. They're like, well, he had really good ratings. I'm like, how do you figure when Gutfeld is killing him?
Losing $40 million a year in ad revenue.
Yeah, that's how.
Right. I mean, what was that budget? Did you see that report from Puck News? Yeah, $100 million budget, and he's bringing in $60 million in ad revenue. I mean, good Lord! It's a guy sitting in a room talking to somebody, right, and telling jokes. How is that $100 million a year? It was a loser. It was a good business decision to cut that show. And they're being bought up by Skydance, right? That sale was just approved. Skydance executives are certainly happy about this because they just cut one of their biggest losers out of the lineup. Mm-hmm. And Skydance also, by the way, is interested in directing CBS back towards more down the middle news. And so if you have this crazy lefty late night show on top of that, that kind of hurts the brand that Skydance is interested in cultivating for CBS. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was savvy, not just in terms of we need to stop hemorrhaging money, but it was savvy in terms of, look, if we want this sale to go through, we need to show that there's a good faith effort to actually adhere to what they want this network to be.
They want to make a profit. It's called making a profit. But have you noticed, though, now that Kimmel and the other Jimmy Fallon, they have doubled down on their hatred of Trump in their jokes. They have literally doubled down.
Trying to pick up the market share.
Yeah.
Right? They see 2 million or whatever homeless Colbert watchers who need a safe port to get their nightly dose of Donald Trump so fat, how fat is he? You know?
That's so funny. I wish I had more time, but I'm just about out of time. When it comes down to it, I think that they've looked at a product. The product has failed, and they're going to double down on it. It's just like you said. They can't help themselves. It's what they are. It's who they are. It's how they thrive. They have to hate Republicans, and it's clearly failed, and nobody believes those numbers because it came from Fox News, or as they like to say, faux news. And It cracks me up every time because I'm like, yes, they lean conservative, but what they're saying is not untrue.
Right. So, yeah, well, nobody ever accused the media of learning their lesson.
Yeah, well, and they never will with you guys as watchdogs on their behind. MRC Newsbusters, it's the place to go to find out why and where the media is lying. Bill, where do they go to see more?
Yeah, come check us out at newsbusters.org. Follow us on X as well, at Newsbusters. And if you're so inclined, you can follow me, too, at band_Bill.
Band_Bill?
Yeah, although not banned anymore. Thanks, Elon.
Okay. I thought you meant like the kind that play trumpets. Now I get it.
Oh, no, BANNED. Yeah, gotcha. I was off Twitter for a solid 4 years. If you check my account, it started in 2022.
That's hysterical. Bill D'Agostino, Senior Research Analyst with MRC Newsbusters, telling the truth. The Dems hate it, but he's doing it anyway. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks so much for having me on.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.